Peace and love. So, last night, I kept feeling a motherly energy surrounding me. And I felt this energy of Mary Poppins. And then, well, that was the energy that came to me. And then I received a sign, and it was related to Mary Poppins. So I thought, oh, there was a message that needs to be given out regarding Mary Poppins. It was something to do with that. And then I was receiving like the names Mother Mary and Mother Teresa. And then I woke this morning and the energy of Mother Teresa is feeling very much so present, and that she has a message to give. I'm also feeling the energy of Mother Mary as well. But there is something to do with the female energy, and specifically a link to masculinity. And for some reason I keep getting toxic femininity. And before I came to sit down to do it, Mother Teresa was saying to me, I was receiving guidance intuitively from this being, and what they were saying was that when it comes to the woman, I don't know why I just said we, but they're still women, but the way that we're living right now is that society has encouraged this kind of masculinity within women. And again, everybody is masculine and feminine. We all have masculine and feminine qualities and traits, and that's what we're here to balance really and bring into oneness. However, when there is a huge focus upon kind of one particular energy in a particular kind of being, so in this case, a masculinity within the woman, it kind of begins to change the way that the woman acts in general. And an element of that was coming was nurturing. And again, I'm not saying that women are not nurturers anymore, or that they're not just as loving, but there's something to do with the element of nurturing and femininity, that they are connected. And it's almost like the more nurturing you are, the higher the ability. It's like the more nurturing you are, the more of your feminine the more of your feminine qualities and aspects is what you're owning. And what she's basically saying is, don't be distracted by the push of, she keeps saying like toxic masculinity in women and toxic femininity. It's that she's saying women are needed to be nurturers, women are needed, you have a divine role. It's a quality, like a vibration in essence that only you can really give off. And she keeps bringing me back to like just times when women were honoured and the sacredness of the woman was appreciated, and the beauty of the woman, when women were kind of treated as kind of royalty basically. And that was because there was an understanding of their divinity and their nurturing selves and their femininity. Their femininity was power, and right now what we're seeing as power is masculinity. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, I encourage women to be bosses, I encourage women to stand on their own, but the fact that you are a woman, it's just something so divine, something so sacred. Okay, so just one moment. sorry. There was the postman. So yes, there's a very divine quality to the woman that I don't even think I know what that divine quality is, but it's very much, I keep being shown like just the way that the woman moves and the way that she walks and the way that she dances, and I know every woman dances different and walks different, but they show me things in like kind of not generalizations but as a whole, if that makes sense. I'm getting like the woman's naturally kind of mysterious and mystical and sensual, and I don't know, there's just so much mystery. So we're going to pull a card from the Keepers of Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Let's see what energy we have coming out right now. Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release fear of persecution and speak your truth. Okay. So this is what we have coming forward. Joan of Arc, the voice of truth. Okay. So I'm hearing like what I'm getting from Mother Teresa. It's more so, she's basically saying you need to find your truth, your purpose. And she's speaking on women in general, on a general kind of thing, sorry. And she's bringing it back to also, you are more than just a child bearer. She's also saying to also shift your perspective on what you are. If you do consider yourself to just be a child bearer, shift your perspective in terms of you could also think of it as you are a portal from the spirit world to the physical. But she's saying you need to find who it is that the woman is. And she's saying equality is amazing, equality is great. However, what if the woman was more, I don't want to say like, not important, but, okay, so right, the way I want to put this across is that no one's better than anybody. However, we all have a role, and some roles just have, I want to say, deeper functions. And some roles have a more of a kind of heightened connection to source and energy light. And what I'm getting is that whilst equality and everything is great and amazing, have we ever thought about the woman being more important or more needed than maybe the man? She's saying to basically look at the world, and whenever somebody or a group of people or a type of people or anything is oppressed, even if that was an animal, there's a reason why. There's a specialness, there's a sacredness, there's a importance to that said thing that is being oppressed. And I'm getting women are very much so oppressed. And you know what the sad thing is? What I'm getting is that we can most certainly see the divinity of the woman when we look at her, and this is for everybody, this is what comes to me. We can see it, it's just like a choice to not accept it. It's also telling me that when it comes to like not lots, but certain religions, many have negative judgments towards these religions because of the way that the woman is portrayed. However, when it comes to like the covering of the woman's hair or the covering of her body, that's because a particular kind of people have recognized the divinity of the woman and they may not necessarily be expressing it in the best way or the easiest way for the masses to kind of understand. But again, it's not for them to make everybody understand. It's for us to connect to our feeling, to then be able to gain the understanding of why certain things are the way they are, or why certain groups of people decide to act in a certain kind of way, or make people act in a certain kind of way, in terms of like covering the hair. And again, I also need to change what I just said, because I just said made people act. Again, we are all human beings, and even though we can feel intimidated or maybe pressured to be a certain kind of way, at the end of the day, we have the choice to do whatever we wish. Okay, so let's pull a few cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. And first, let's read this. Guardians of the four corners, mothers in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Okay. So we have the Shaman, trust in higher forces. And we have Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Okay. With this card, instantly what's coming to me is that the woman, who the woman is, and again, I don't mean no disrespect or anything like that, I'm just giving what energy is giving me, and Source is giving me, and Mother Teresa is giving me. But there's this energy of the woman becomes what society projects on them to be, and when I say things, it's not that I'm saying that the man doesn't become what society tells them to be, but right now this is just a focus on women for some reason. And it's like you can decide who you are, what you are, how you choose to live, but it takes confidence, and you have to kind of be unapologetic and unfearful. For some reason, I'm seeing like the woman having way more strength than she realizes, and I mean physical strength. I'm being basically told and shown that when it comes to kind of, why do I want to say evolution, that over time, quite often, that we see evolution in things as being just the way things happen over time, and like if for hundreds of years, let's say humans was needed to dig with their hands, we may develop like claws, like stronger nails than what we have now. But what I'm getting is that, again, it goes back to thought and manifestation. And over time, 444, as I looked up, over time, it's the thoughts that manifest like qualities of beings. And because we've lived in a way where we live in a patriarchy, so men kind of basically are at the top, and women are at the bottom, and women are weaker than men, and men are stronger than women, and just when we perpetuate those kind of things over and over and over again, it goes down in generations and generations and generations. Yes, women become to be the weaker sex physically, and I don't know why, I'm just getting that what we speak is very detrimental to our experience. I'm getting that women need to uncover the sides of themselves that are lost. I don't know why, it just feels so sacred and special. Let's go with Nature's Whispers. It just feels so special and sacred, man. That's something to do with time, renewal of peace, assurance, seek beauty. This is all about, again, the woman finding herself. And I don't mean the woman finding herself as in you individually knowing yourself. I mean on a general basis, the world basically finding out who the woman really is. And again, it's coming, and in another video, it's the same message is coming through. When we find out who the woman really is, we will find out who we really are, who the male really is, who, I want to say, there's a role that the man also plays, but that cannot be acknowledged before the woman's role and the woman's sacredness is acknowledged. I'm getting there's an inner light burning, brewing in the collective woman, the collective body of the woman. There's an inner light burning. I'm seeing the woman as kind of being like Rapunzel, trapped in the top of the tower. Like you're waiting to be free. I'm getting that the women represent in physical form, like their physical is a representation of femininity, obviously, and the male form is a representation of masculinity, and then it's the expression of source of energy within us that brings the opposite component. And so I'm saying I'm a male, but that me expressing my inner source, my inner God self, the expression of that and the physical is the coming together of masculine and feminine. And for women, their physical represents femininity, but the expression of the self, the God self within them, is the masculinity, and that's hard for me to kind of, because I understand that everybody's masculine and feminine, and within us we all have masculine and feminine energy, so I'm assuming that when we express masculine and feminine energy, and for some reason I feel like that's an imbalance with, this is just my opinion now, not what's coming forward. I feel like that's kind of an imbalance in one of the energies, because if I'm a male and I'm expressing masculine and femininity, am I expressing more masculinity than femininity? But then people will probably say I'm more feminine anyway. Okay, well, I'm getting basically leave that for another day. So let's see if Mother Teresa has any more messages. She's saying you're on the right lines of what I was just saying, and she's saying continue to question because there are infinite layers of truth. Shift your energy. Okay. It's about balance and also control. And it's bringing me to kind of motherhood, and that it's not to put blame on anybody, but what she's saying is mothers have one of the hardest roles, and two, one of the most selfless roles when it comes to parenthood, and also being like a single mother. Not only are they in charge of raising their child, but they're also in charge of raising the future, literally, because the children are our future. And what it is that many women and many parents in general feel that they are failures. But what I'm getting is that it's because, and it's the way that you're looking at the world and looking at your children and the contribution that your children make. And what that is kind of disappointment because you feel that you haven't kind of been able to give the child everything that it needs. But the reason that is because you didn't have everything that you needed, and that's kind of deliberate. You're brought into a world that doesn't teach you the divinity of the woman. It doesn't really support you 100%. Therefore, how can you support anything else? How can you even support your own child 100%? If you're not 100% supported or fulfilled or just knowing of yourself, how can you teach somebody about themselves if you don't know yourself fully? And again, that's not your fault. It's just the way that we live, the society that we live in. It doesn't teach any of us who we really are. We have to find that. And that's what she's saying. You have to find who you really are. Especially with this card. Find who you really are. So that's all for this video. I'm sure that Mother Teresa and the energy of Mother Teresa will be present with me in the future. And I look forward to doing another connection. I send you peace. I send you love. I thank you for being present with me.